Good evening, y'all. I am here to do our daily Bible readings, and we're in Second Kings chapter number 5. Second Kings chapter 5. Y'all ready? You got your Bible? Did you pray and ask the Holy Spirit to tutor you as we read our Bibles together? If not, hit the pause button and do that real quick, friends. And then come rejoin this old freshly shaved bald head to read. And 3, 2, 1, here we go. Now, Naaman, captain of the host of the king of Syria, was a great man with his master and honorable, because by him the Lord had given deliverance unto Syria. He was also a mighty man in valor, but he was a leper. And the Syrians had gone out by companies and had brought away captive out of the land of Israel a little maid, and she waited on Naaman's wife. And she said unto her mistress, Would God, my Lord, were with the prophet that is in Samaria, for he would recover him of his leprosy. And one went in and told his Lord, saying, Thus and thus said the maid, that this is of the land of Israel. And the king of Syria said, Go, and I will send a letter unto the king of Israel. And he departed and took with him 10 talents of silver and 6,000 pieces of gold and 10 changes of raiment. That was a lot. That was a lot, y'all. And he brought the letter to the king of Israel, saying, Now when this letter is come unto thee, behold, I have therewith sent Naaman, my servant, to thee, that thou mayest recover him of his leprosy. And it came to pass, when the king of Israel had read the letter, that he rent his clothes and said, Am I God to kill and to make alive, that this man doth send unto me to recover a man of his leprosy? Wherefore consider, I pray you, and see how he seeketh a quarrel against me. And it was so, when Elisha, the man of God, had heard that the king of Israel had rent his clothes, that he sent to the king, saying, Wherefore hast thou rent thy clothes? Let him come now to me, and he shall know that there is a prophet in Israel. So Naaman came with his horses and with his chariot, and stood at the door of the house of Elisha. And Elisha sent a messenger unto him, saying, Go and wash in Jordan 7 times, and thy flesh shall come again to thee, and thou shalt be clean. But Naaman was wroth, and went away and said, Behold, I thought he will surely come out to me, and stand and call on the name of the Lord his God, and strike his hand over the place, and recover the leper. Why does it matter how it gets done as long as it gets done? Are not Abana and Pharpar, rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? May I not wash in them and be clean? So he turned and went away in a rage. And his servants came near and spake unto him and said, My father, if the prophet had bid thee do some great thing, wouldst thou not have done it? How much rather then, when he saith to thee, Wash and be clean? Then went he down and dipped himself 7 times in Jordan, according to the saying of the man of God, and his flesh came again like unto the flesh of a child, and he was clean. And he returned to the man of God, he and all his company, and came and stood before him, and said, Behold, now I know that there is no God in all the earth, but in Israel. Now therefore I pray thee, take a blessing of thy servant. But he said, As the Lord liveth, before whom I stand, I will receive none. And he urged him to take it, but he refused. And Naaman said, Shall there not then, I pray thee, be given to thy servant 2 mules' burden of earth? For thy servant will henceforth offer neither burnt offering nor sacrifice unto other gods, but unto the Lord. And this thing the Lord pardon thy servant, that when my master goeth into the house of Rimmon to worship there, and he leaneth on my hand, and I bow myself in the house of Rimmon, when I bowed down myself in the house of Rimmon, the Lord pardon thy servant in this thing. And he said unto him, Go in peace. So he departed from him a little way. But Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of God, said, Behold, my master hath spared Naaman, the Syrian, in not receiving in his hands that which he brought. But as the Lord liveth, I will run after him and take somewhat of him. So Gehazi followed after Naaman, and when Naaman saw him running after him, he lighted down from the chariot to meet him and said, Is all well? And he said, All is well. My master hath sent me, saying, Behold, even now there be come to me from Mount Ephraim 2 young men of the sons of the prophets. Give them, I pray thee, a talent of silver and 2 changes of garments. And Naaman said, Be content, take 2 talents. And he urged him, and bound 2 talents of silver in 2 bags, and 2 changes of garments, and laid them upon 2 of his servants, and they bare them before him. And when he came to the tower, he took them from their hand and bestowed them in the house. And he let the men go, and they departed. But he went in and stood before his master. And Elisha said unto him, Whence comest thou, Gehazi? And he said, Thy servant went no whither. There's a new word. Hither, thither, and now whither. And he said unto him, Went not mine heart with thee when the man turned again from his chariot to meet thee? Is it a time to receive money and to receive garments and olive yards, and vineyards, and sheep, and oxen, and men servant, and maidservants. The leprosy, therefore, of Naaman shall cleave unto thee, and unto thy seed forever. And he went out from his presence, a leper as white as snow. Y'all want me to read chapter 6 too? I can't hear you. Nope. Okay. I'll read chapter 6, tamale. Speaking of tamales, somebody back in my hometown sent me some of the Ramirez tamales. That was my neighbor back there, and they make the best tamales in the world, and I miss them. So, bam, there you go, y'all. I went into the Mexican restaurant here in town a couple of weeks ago, maybe 10 days ago, a week ago. I don't remember when I went in there and ordered tamales. Y'all, those things were poor excuses for tamales. I don't know. And these people are supposed to be from Mexico. They know how to make tamales down in Mexico. But these people up here, they don't know how to make tamales. I never made them, but I'm tempted to make them because I know I can make them. I can make them good. But it's an all-day chore, and I don't feel like cooking all day, ever. I used to, but I can't do that anymore. I got too many aches and pains. I became an old man all of a sudden. It happened suddenly. Y'all, I wish y'all was on my Facebook. One of the Bibles we gave away here at the channel. One of y'all, one of my viewers, won it. And she said if it was all right with me, she wanted to give it to a friend who was in a nursing home who really needed a large print Bible because she had a Bible that was falling apart and she couldn't read it because the print was too small. And she won a Bible, and she wanted to know if it was all right if she gave her Bible to her friend. That's fine with me, that's fine. So James, that was one of the Bibles that James gave away. And I told him that this lady in the nursing home, her name was Janet. And I said, I want Janet's name imprinted on the cover of the Bible. And I said, I'll pay for that extra charge since James had agreed to pay for 2 Bibles a month, but not for extra charges like that. He said, no, I'll pay for it. So James paid for 2 Bibles plus the name to be imprinted on one of them. The lady got her Bible, and my viewer, my subscriber that won the Bible, her name is Erin, and Erin did a video of this lady. What she did 2 short videos because she couldn't get one 3-minute video to send by text message or email or however. I don't remember how she sent it. So she did 2 1.5-minute videos, one of her giving the Bible to the lady, and then one of the lady thinking, hanging out with Stan, whoever that is, for the Bible. And she was crying. She was so happy and said she had to get the water out of her eyes before she could see to see to tell Aaron if the print was okay, and she said it was, and it was just cool. That is why we do what we do here, y'all. And everybody that gets a Bible doesn't have to cry, but it just, people like that that gets a Bible, that just makes my heart so happy. That's what it's all about, y'all. That's what it's all about. And I look forward to the next Bible giveaway, which is still in another week or 10 days. I don't even know what day of the week it is, much less what number the day is, 10th, 15th, 20th. I don't know what today is. I don't. And it's not because I'm cuckoo. Well, I'm cuckoo, but not that kind of cuckoo. It's just because I don't have any reason to keep up with the days and the numbers and all that stuff anymore. So I don't keep up with them. When I've got a doctor's appointment or any kind of appointment, I plug it in my phone so my phone will send me a reminder, and I don't have to keep up with stuff. I got my phones to do that for me. I don't have to think anymore. So I don't know what day of the week it is or what number the day is. I do know that we're in July. I know that much. Huh? Oh, we're not in July. What are we in? I don't know what we're in. Oh, we're in May. Oh, we're in April because my birthday's coming up soon. Yeah, and I'm a April birthday boy. I was born either on Easter Day or the eve of Easter. I don't remember which. That was a long time ago. And they had Easter back then. Yeah, they did. Even when I was born, they had Easter. And my parents took me to church. My first time to church was on Easter. I guess I was born a day or two before Easter. Or maybe it was the Sunday after Easter they took me to church. But anyway, they were in church all the time anyway, even as young adults with a new little baby boy named Redneck Stan, or hanging out with Stan, the bald headed redneck. Except I wasn't bald headed and I wasn't a redneck back then. I was Stan back then. Actually, I was Stan Lee, and Mom was strict. Mom and Dad both were strict. And the only time I heard Stan Lee was when I was in trouble. And that was a lot. So I heard Stanley, and the emphasis was on the Lee part of Stanley. And when I heard the emphasis being put on the Lee part of Stanley, I knew I was in trouble. And I probably knew what I was in trouble for because I hardly ever got in trouble. I was a good boy. I was till I became an adult. And then I was a bad boy. But I thank God He got a hold of me and worked me over. He turned me every which way but loose and saved my wretched old soul. I was a good guy. I was a good guy. I just was a hooligan good guy. You all know my story. My testimony's on here several times. I'm done, y'all. I'm just flapping my jaws, and I'll let y'all go. I appreciate y'all very much. And it's still early. Yeah, it's still early. I'll still be up another 4 or 5 more hours. I might give y'all some more videos. Or maybe I'll go in there and if I can figure out how to work that smart TV, which is smarter than me, I guess, I'll watch Heartland because I never did turn it on yesterday when I said I was going to go do that. I went in there and sit down on the recliner and promptly fell asleep. That's what I did. And I slept there all night. Y'all, I didn't get ready for bed or nothing because I didn't intend to fall asleep, but I did. And I slept there all night, sitting in the recliner with the bright living room light on all night long. I was tired yesterday. I'm not tired today, but I'm sore. I should be tired. I raked leaves, goodness, and limbs. My two big maple trees out front, they dropped a bunch of limbs over the winter, limbs that long, just little, tiny little limbs. But I don't want to run over them with my late in the mowing season last year. I had new blades put on the mower deck of my John Deere garden tractor, and I don't want to dull them on cutting up all those limbs. That garden tractor has a mulching deck, so it'll mulch all the leaves that are on the ground and all the grass that I cut. There's not a lot of grass; it's mostly just weeds, but uh, it'll mulch it. It doesn't care what it is, and it would mulch those limbs too. I just don't want it to dull the new blades I got on there. And I don't know that those limbs would dull him as small as the limbs are, but I take a chance when I can rake them up, and I raked up all on this on the north side of the property today. I've got a garden cart, got big wheels on it with some two handles that you. It's not a wheelbarrow. It's a garden cart. It's about as wide and about as long as a wheelbarrow, but it's 2 or 3 times steeper than a wheelbarrow. I can get a lot of stuff in it. I had a whatever the giant bags of Miracle Grow is. I had 2 of those. Well, it's the Miracle Grow potting soil. I had 2 of those giant bags, and I put them in my raised bed out here that I built last year, where I planted roses last year. All 4 roses I planted there died, so I put uh, this Miracle Grow potting soil in there and planted dahlias, dahlia bulbs. I don't know anything about flowers, y'all, except roses. Back in Texas, well, every house I've ever owned, I have had rose gardens. My last place in Texas, it had hundreds of rose bushes everywhere. I had rose gardens all over the place, and it was beautiful. I loved that place, and uh, it was beautiful. And roses are extremely hard to find up here, y'all. Found I didn't find any the first year I was here. The second year I was here, I found 3 that was about 4 inches high. The smallest roses I've ever seen in my life. And I bought all 3 of them. That's all they had. And then the next year at Ollie's, they had 2 rose bushes, and I bought both of them. They were about 12 to 15 inches high. Both of them died right a week or 2 after I put them in the ground. And I don't think, I cannot recall ever having a rose bush die, but those two died. I think they were pretty much doomed when I bought them. Or maybe I just don't know how to grow stuff up here. And then last year, I found, I think at Walmart, they had either 3 or 4 rose bushes about 8 or 10 inches high. They weren't big. They were not big, but I bought all of them, whether it's 3 or 4, I can't remember. And I built a special raised rose bed for them out here. They all died. So I've got those 3 from the first year, and they're still about 3 or 4 inches tall. And they get totally covered with feet of snow each winter, but each spring they come back. And why those little short things keep coming back, I don't know, when all the others that I bought promptly died. But I'm proud of them for what they're doing coming back each year. Not proud like arrogant proud, but thankful for them for what they're doing, fighting hard like me. I've been a fighter for life, much of my life, and they are like me, they're tough. So, and they'll give me 1 or 2 blooms, and if they do, like the last 2 or 3 years, however long I've had them, I can't remember now, but they'll give 2 or 3 blooms, and that'll be it. But they're still alive. I don't know what to do. Last year I bought some rose food and fed them, and it didn't seem to make any difference. They're still the same size that they were. I don't. I guess roses don't do good up here or something. I don't know. Maybe that's why nobody hardly sells them. I got a friend back in Texas that lived close to me out in the country that propagated a bunch of roses, and I propagated. That's where a lot of mine came from. I propagated my own roses, and he has a bunch, but he's wanting like, I forgot what he said, $30 each or something for them. And if I knew they'd live, and that doesn't include shipping. Shipping is extra, and it probably costs that much at least to ship them, because I'd want them shipped overnight so they didn't die. Because if you don't ship something overnight, it could take a month to get here. It once the the mail does good till it gets to Kansas City or Wichita, and then it sits there for 5, 6, 7 days. Every time, it doesn't matter where in the country it's coming from. It goes fast till it gets to Wichita or Kansas City, and then it sits for a week or 4 or 5 days at least, to up to a week. And then they decide to send it on out to the west part of Kansas where I am. I've talked to the postmaster here about that several times, because when I send something to y'all from here, from my house, when I ship something to y'all, it gets from here to either Wichita or Kansas City in one day. And then it sits at Kansas City or Wichita for 4, 5, 6 days. And then it'll mosey on out to wherever y'all are. So I don't know. I'm hesitant to buy something live like that and pay exorbitant prices. And everything I ship out of here to y'all, I ship priority mail, and that's expensive. Sometimes what I ship is cheaper than the postage I pay to ship it to you. Like those little devotional books I just gave away, they were cheaper than the postage. and the postage took forever. But everybody finally got them. But I hate to pay the prices he's asking for them, plus exorbitant shipping fees, knowing that they'll come all the way from the Texas Gulf Coast to Kansas in a day or two, and then they'll sit for 4 or 5 days, probably in the heat with no water. And so I don't think I'm willing to take that kind of a gamble, paying for those, paying $50 or $60 on a gamble. I don't think I'll do that. I'm talking about each. So I love roses, but I just don't know. I wish I had. When I bought this place, my plan in my head was to plant roses all the way down that south side, all the way down. But I needed that area tilled up. I bought a tiller, a big, nice tiller the first year I got here. Well, it's like trying to till the cement road out front. That tiller just bounced, and it was a big, heavy tiller, a heavy-duty big tiller. This soil is so hard here; it is tough. That tiller wouldn't cut it, and so I took it back. I said, I got it at Tractor Supply. I said, this thing doesn't work in the soil I got. And they gave me my money back, no problem. And that's when I bought the money I got back for the tillers is what I bought the cattle feed troughs with that I plant my vegetables in. But this year I bought 2x10 lumber to make a big raised bed for some vegetables. I need to get off my butt and get that done. Today I worked on the paint job for my truck some more. That paint they gave me is black. It's not gray. It's not even close to gray. Anyway, I got some compound and compounded a lot of it off. And I'll get it all off and start all over. It upsets me at O'Reilly because I drove all the way to Salina, which is 2.5 hours one way, back the first year I got here, or the second year I got here, I guess, because that accident, that hit and run, didn't happen till the second year. And they mixed the paint for me at Salina O'Reilly. I forgot what I was going to say. But anyway, I gave her the paint number from my truck, and she went out and verified that I gave her the right paint number on the sticker inside the door of my truck. And she mixed the wrong paint. I don't know how it happened, but it's black paint, not gray. And my truck's not dark gray, not even dark gray. It's nowhere near black. It's a medium gray. And it's got the metal flakes in it, that looks like glitter, that glistens in the sunshine. And that black paint didn't have the metal flakes in it, so but I got a lot of it off using compound. I didn't get it all off. I don't know what to do. And also, it I had told y'all that it didn't dent the metal anywhere except for two spots right next to each other, about inch and a half diameter each, and they were, not noticeable. I wasn't even going to worry about them until I got that black paint on it. And black paint shows dents before any other color, especially a medium gray color, would show it. But it showed the dents big time. It made the dents look like they were that big and that deep. So I don't like Bondo, but where they're at, Bondo would be the best way to smooth them over. So I guess I'm going to buy some Bondo and fill those little spots like that big, and then reprime it and repaint it. Just a pain in the rear. I don't like painting anyway. And I got to paint the trim on my house this summer too. I hate painting. I'd rather paint a car than paint a house. But that's that. And I got to paint my tailgate too. Remember, somebody crashed into the back of it right after I got up here and messed it up. It messed up the tailgate and the rear bumper. I bought a new, not a new, but a tailgate from a, what do you call it, auto salvage place between here and the big town south of here. And the tailgate is white. The used tailgate I bought, it's like brand new, but it's white, and my truck is gray. So I need to paint it too. And it was, I think, $381 for a used tailgate. But it fits perfectly and it's in excellent condition. It's just not gray. And so I want to paint it. I'm sure I told y'all, two different auto body places wanted $1,500 just to paint that tailgate. A tailgate, nothing but the tailgate. No repair work, nothing, just paint it. $1,500. I said, no, Bubba, I'll paint it myself for under $100. And I will, just not today and not tomorrow. I got a lot done today. Goodness, I got a lot more to do. But I like working outside. Yep, I do. And I got to get my vegetable gardens kicked into high gear. I got to get my water hose. I got a new, it was right there and now it's disappeared. I don't know where I put it. I hope I hadn't lost it because that thing was expensive. I got no idea where I put it, y'all. It's been sitting there for, oh, it's sitting on the seat of my walker. That's where it is. That scared me. But I got a big hose, and it's, let me show it to you. This house only has one outdoor faucet. So I needed a long hose. This is a 75-foot long hose, and it's a big diameter. And look at that. This is a nice hose. Look at it. This is metal. It's not plastic. And it's got this spring thingy. And there's the other end. Look at the inside of that. This is a good quality hose. And it's heavy. But 75 foot will reach any of my flower beds and my vegetable garden from the one outdoor faucet I got. There's the tree out there in that corner, and I've got a bunch of bushes. I don't know what they are, but they get covered with purple blooms during the springtime. One of them is just now starting to bloom, and they're beautiful. And that whole back there, whenever we have a strong wind and I do a video, those bushes out back that's always going like that in the videos, that's them way back on the back boundary line. This won't reach that far out. And last year I didn't put it, I had somebody put mulch out there for me. I bought the mulch and they spread it all around all of those beautiful purple trees just to make it look like they were planted in a garden, even though they weren't. It just makes it look better to have all that mulch out there. And I got more mulch to put out there this year. I just hadn't put it out there. Plus around the two big maple trees out front. This hose won't reach that far out, but if I ever do put a flower bed out there or whatever, then I'll have to get an extension for this hose. But I think the rapture's going to happen before I before I even get this thing hooked up to the faucet. But I need to hook it up because I'm already I've got one of those watering buckets with the handle on it and the spout that kind of lets the water rain as it comes out of the bucket, you know. I'm already having to fill it up at the kitchen sink and go out to the potatoes and onions to water them because they're already getting thirsty. And that's all I got planted so far, except today I planted dahlia bulbs in that raised bed garden I built a couple of years ago for roses. And I've got a big, probably 15 or 20 gallon round planters on either side of the main entrance over here. And I planted, it had something that I planted, some kind of bulbs that I planted last year or the year before. They came back and they're looking beautiful. And I don't remember what they are, but they got orange blooms on them. And it's like a variegated orange, different colors of orange, and they're beautiful. And they're coming back like they're brand new plants. And my chrysanthemums, yellow chrysanthemums that I have on either side of the porch are coming back for the third or fourth year in a row. And what else? Oh, the two planters on either side of the front door, up on the porch, that I've got those bulbs in that I've had that keeps coming back year after year, that has the orange flowers in them. They were around the outside of those tubs, and so I put one clump of dahlia bulbs in the center of those two pots. So I'll have the orange flowers plus whatever color these dahlias are that I bought. The dahlias I bought it was mixed colors in each bag, so I'm gonna have all colors of dahlias. I don't even know what a dahlia is. I never even planted bulb flowers before I moved up here, but I guess they're the things to plant up here. And you know, the frost line here is like 5 or 6 feet. My water line is way down below the surface of the ground. Back in Texas, my water line was about 8 inches deep. Up here, it's 6 or 7 feet deep. But anyway, I've talked way too much. I'll let y'all go. I love y'all. God bless you, friends.